First of all, I should say sorry. When I came here first, because of this, I could not recognize who it is. Now it is okay. It's our dear old Thomas Achal. It's a secret that we were classmates. Some of us you may know. It may not be news for Kochachan. We were together in the college. And also Babu Achan. Babu, there is a word of respect used in North India. Achan Babu. Jawaharlal Babu like that. Now, this evening is a blessed evening for us. It is the feast of Saint Basilios Yeldo, who died at Kodamangalam and is interred there. Some of you may know him, maybe some come from that part of Kerala, Kodamangalam, I don't know. I had not been there. As history records, this holy father stayed in there was no Kerala then, Kodamangalam for only 2 weeks, 14 days. And as Orthodox Christians, we need to understand that these such holy fathers, they form a treasure. And that is our stronghold. Martyrs, apostles, prophets, saintly people, monks, these is a monolith. They form the real treasure for the Orthodox tradition, and we rely upon them because they intercede on our behalf to God. They are great people before God and men, and the church upholds their memory for our blessing and for the honor of the saints. In our Orthodox tradition, at every worship time, we remember the apostles, the saints, especially our own three saints. Three saints have been canonized so far in the Indian or Malankara Orthodox Church. And the first two are these Saint Gregorius and Saint Basilios. And later on, as you know, in 1993, Saint Irenaios Watershedel was officially canonized. I was also there. And I had the good fortune and blessing of God to prepare the report, the long report. It's a handwritten report on the procedure of canonization. We never had an official procedure for canonization. In fact, it was prepared by Basilios Mar Gregorios. What should you do if somebody is considered to be a saint, to be canonized? We had no procedure earlier. Even in 1947, when Saint Basilios was canonized, there was no procedure at all. A resolution was brought to the Holy Synod by Yeldo Mar Basilios, Metropolitan, later Catholicos, Yeldo first. And that was read out in the Synod meeting at Parimala. It was accepted. And then reigning Catholicos, Georgis II, issued a bull, an order, on behalf of the Holy Synod, saying that Basilios of Kodamangalam, along with Saint Gregorios of Parimala, both are canonized and they are to be honored as saints of the Malankara saints in the Malankara, not exclusively of Malankara. They are the saints in Malankara Church. And Tubuden should be corrected like that. Our saints in Malankara, Malankariile, not Malankariude. They belong to all people everywhere. And that was accepted, and the decision was churches could be erected in their names, even cross towers, Kurishindati could be made. And the names of these two saints need to be remembered in the diptychs, Tubden. That was the direction to the whole church by the Holy Synod in 1947, 2nd November. And that is the first time that in the Indian Orthodox Church we had the canonization of somebody. Now that procedure of canonizing, if at all there was one, was very unofficial. First, to begin with, the public, the people, members of the church and others, those outside the church, they recognize somebody as a saint. It's a very saintly person. Actually, that is the acclamation by the people that so and so is considered as a very saintly person. And that is accepted by the church and corroborated and certified by the highest body. This is the process in at least in our church and other Orthodox churches. Unlike in the Roman Catholic Church, they have a very long, drawn out process in which they have to prove at least one miracle. One proven miracle is the basis of canonization in the Roman Catholic Church. We don't follow that because miracles may or may not happen. That is not a criterion at all. In the case of Vatasheril thirumeni, at least that I know, we had various reasons, which is noted in the report book. He was a defender of faith. That is a chilling fact. He was a strong defender of faith. And he led a very holy life as testified by his student. Basilios-Gregorios II was a student of Vatasheril thirumeni in the seminary. So the witness provided by the Catholicos and many others. I myself went and interviewed so many people in Malapalli and elsewhere. With one voice, say that he was a great man, but a saintly man. He led a very saintly life. And he suffered a lot for the Indian church. And that life was unparalleled. If you read the church history of the Malankara Church, here was a leader in the person of Saint Irenaios Vatasheril. Never before him or after him was a person who suffered so much, grieved in his mind, but never deterred him from his path he has chosen, or path chosen for him by God. And he declared, even if I get killed, this is my way. That is why we revere him. And people call him the Sabha Bhasuran. Bhasuran is sun. Sun gives light all around. And this Sabha Bhasuran illuminated the entire church. So Sabha Bhasuran means illuminator of the church. So the Saint Basilios, as we know, is not an angel. But we believe that he sat on the throne of Saint Thomas and he was the head of the Malankara Church, coming to the Middle East, belonging to the Persian Church. And when he arrived in India, he was pretty old, as you may know. He was 92 when he landed. 92-year-old Catholicos. He landed in Kerala. Travel those days was very, very difficult and tedious because of the Portuguese. They won't allow any hierarchy to land in Kerala those days. They had dominion and the king was with them. So these people have to travel through forests so many days incognito. If they recognize somebody, they will get killed. There were 5 people with him, including Basilios, and two of them died, and three remained at the time. And when you reach the church will start tolling by itself. And people didn't know who he was, but looked like an Orthodox metropolitan. And he stayed there for 14 days, and the 14th day he passed away. But during that time, people were amazed that whatever he said happened. To use our language, he was a miracle worker. I don't like that usage at all. He did so many miracles. So people were convinced before he died, he was on his deathbed. People were just standing around him. And he said, when I breathe my last, you can have a sign there on the cross outside, the granite cross. There will be great light. And it happened. Just like in the case of Saint Gregorios of Parmala, when he passed away, there was a great pillar of light above Parmala seminary. That is history. The doctor who was treating him, doctor doesn't mean apothecary in the Western sense. He told his wife, they were sitting there outside their home, that tonight he will pass away. And they were looking that the direction of the seminary, and in the middle of the night, they saw a very bright pillar of light above the seminary. And the Vaidyan said, it is over. So these people, they were human beings, but they were chosen by God. There's one point we should never forget. They were chosen by God to lead the flock. They were sanctified and purified by God for the sake of the church. They lived and died for the church. Saint Gregorios lived only up to 54 years. Saint Gregorios. Saint Irenaios, any idea? He's looking at you. Something like 80, around 80. And this father, he was 92. It's amazing. At this age, he's traveling, taking a hazardous journey from the Middle East, traveling by ship or land. He landed in Cochin at the age 92. You cannot just think about it. Imagine this such thing happening. And he was great in the eyes of God. We have a church in Cochin, the Trichur district, dedicated to Saint Basilios. I think they have the Perumal some of these days. Karipokunda, Basilios Pali. I think that is the only one in the diocese of Cochin. We have another in the north only, not much in the south. We have some churches dedicated to Basilios Kodamangalam in the northern diocese. And Catholicus Gregory II was very convinced that this Baba is a saint. And he declared, and he was also a saint. Paramala Thirumeni was a saint. His disciple, Bhattacharya Thirumeni, was a saint. And their disciple, Catholicus Gregory II, is the third saint. There's a line of saints there at that time. It's a big cluster of saints at that time. Say about 50 years, 100 years. It was a special period in the history of our church. So many people. But this father, Saint Basilios, he was a hermit. History says that he was a monk. That means he dedicated his life at a very young age. And he had just convinced that this is my vocation. God has chosen him to be a monk serving God and the people of God. In Syria, nowadays the patriarch never stays in Syria. Nobody can stay there. That is the situation. There is one daira called Saint Marcos in the daira. Matthias daira, not Marcos. Matthias is there. And that belonged to the Catholicos. All around is the patriarch. But this one institution, Matai Dera, belonged to the Catholicos of the East. It's very interesting to know that in 1964, when Patriarch Yacob III, he came to Kerala at the time of the installation of Augen Bawa, and he requested that this should be handed over to the Syrians because it belonged to the Catholicos, and that was given. It is our magnanimity. So this Basilios Bawa of Kotamangalam was staying there with the Matai Dayara. So he was a very dedicated person. Otherwise, he would not have taken this journey to India at those times. A very, very old person taking a travel at 92. Then this happened. And what strikes our mind, or what should strike our mind, is that this man, he was a hierarch, the head of the church, but a very saintly person concerned about his people. That we should know and never forget. He was concerned about his sheep in India. So he decided to travel. The other side, people give all kinds of interpretation that somebody sent him to India like that. Let it be. But we know this Basilios Kodamangalam Baba came to or decided to come to India just to see his people. He was our Catholicos, just to be with them. But that 14 days were precious 14 days. He did not live long and he died there. And this evening we remember him today and tomorrow. And after the evening prayer namaskaram, Achan told me that you will take up the procession outside. Is it right? Yeah. And why this procession? The Orthodox people, when they worship, they have a lot of movements. Not the moments children play here, but something else. The Holy Kurbana begins, the Achan and the acolyte goes round the altar. That is the first movement in the Holy Kurbana. And all around there is movement. And if you go to the Ethiopian church, they will move left and right. So in our worship, movement is part of our Christian worship, Orthodox worship. Remember, we are not just standing still somewhere. So what we are going to do this evening, that's taking out session, is part of the evening service. That is the beauty of it. You cannot separate procession from the event song. It's an extension of the event song where we extol the memory of that saint for whom we are taking out. We sing songs praising him. We seek his intercession. Maybe people, maybe outside, maybe looking what is happening in this country. People are just walking around, marching ahead. We are telling them that we are the people of Saint Basilios. We want to tell you that we are Christians. We have the cross. When you take the procession in front, you have the wooden cross. That reminds us of so many things. The cross is there, probably the Bible will be there. So the cross and the Bible in front. These are very two potent symbols for us. Any procession, there will be the cross and the Bible. Then the priests and the people will follow. But remember this one thing, as we go out, we are walking along with Saint Basilius. We hold his hand or he holds our hand to protect us, to be with us. Because he is our leader in the worship. He is the leader of the congregation. പതിവിൻപടി നിൻ കൂട്ടത്തലയായെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ കൂട്ടത്തിന്റെ ലീഡറായിട്ട് നിൽക്കണമെന്നായി പറയുന്നത്. പതിവിൻപടിയിലെ കൂട്ടത്തലയെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ തലയിൽ അവിടെ കൂട്ടി വെച്ചതൊന്നുമല്ല. അപ്പോൾ അർത്ഥം അറിയാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് അടിച്ചു വിടുകയല്ലേ. പതിവ് പോലെ ആസ് യൂഷ്വൽ, you as the leader of the congregation stand with us and pray with us and for us. ഇനിയും ചൊല്ലുമ്പോൾ ഓർത്താണ് പതിവൻപടി നിന്റെ കൂട്ടത്തലയായി എന്ന് ചൊല്ലുമ്പോൾ ഈ കൂട്ടത്തിന്റെ തലയാളായി ലീഡറായിട്ട് നിൽക്കണമെന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. So when we go out, remember that we hold the hand of Saint Basilios, who is working with us. His spiritual presence is with us. Though we cannot see with our physical eyes, we see him with our internal eye, and we feel his active presence in us. In Orthodox theology, spirituality, we talk about the habitual presence. You must have read that in the seminary. Have you? Habitual presence means the presence of God, the feeling of the presence of God becomes a habit. Always. And the Orthodox people call it the habitual presence. So here we feel it is a felt presence. We have the presence of Saint Basilios, and we are walking with him, holding his hand. Remember that it's a very solemn procession, very holy, and it reminds that we are also taking a journey, that the journey of life's journey. And again, the Orthodox people in the two seminaries you attend here in this country, they tell you that we are all taking a journey that is qualified, a journey into God. Never stop with the word journey. A journey into God. When we come back, we come to the church. We proceed from the church and return to the church, reminding us that we have come to this world and we'll go back to the presence of God. Jesus knew that he came from his Father and is going back to his Father, as in John's Gospel. Jesus knew very well that he came from his Father and is going back to him. This is our story. That is the human story. So when we take the procession, remember that, keep that in mind, that this reminds us of the life's journey into God. There's a difference between journey to God and journey into God. And we are taking the journey with the angels, with Saint Mary, the Theotokos, Holy Mother, and the saints and angels. We are all accompanied in the procession. This procession tells us that we are not alone. There is a big cloud of saints about us. Let us be conscious of that when we come to the church or taking a religious procession like that, that all these people are accompanying us, or we are accompanying them. So let us keep that in mind, and may the prayers of Saint Basilios be with us. He was old in age, but not old in spiritual existence. May his presence be with us and blessings be with us, and ask God to bless us on behalf of Saint Basilios, or at least for him, for his sake. When Vadachel Thirumeni was canonized, as he was writing not just a report, but we had an order of service. You are not born in 1993. Nobody was there at Kotte at that time. Now, I was a little confused. How can a person say somebody else is saintly? Do we have the right to do that? We know we are not saints. But who has the right to pronounce that so and so is saint, canonized as a saint? I was totally confused then. But somehow something worked in my mind. And I just wrote in that it is part of the Promeon. I think Makarios Thirumeni read that. No, Timotheos Thirumeni read it. Makarios Thirumeni, Pro. This is a Pade seminary. Lord, you have given us the authority in the church to open and close, to forgive or not to forgive. That is the exclusive authority, sole authority of God. When God is willing to share that authority with us, with the church, we pray that what we do today, that this be accepted in heaven. and give this person as an intercessor for us. That is the exact words I wrote in Malayalam. And today I just ruminate about this. So this Saint Basilios called Yeldo. It's Yeldo Mar, there are so many Yeldos in the northern diocese, especially in Kandanada, Kodamang, like that. He is our saint. Our church canonized him in this 1947. How many years have passed since his death? Started calculating now. How many years since the passing away of Saint Basilios? 339 years. 339 years, exactly. So he's a living saint. For us, for Orthodox, for Christians, these people are living. They are with Christ, enjoying the divine presence. Let us take it to heart. May the prayers of all the saints, especially our own national saints, Basilios and Gregorios and Saint Irenaios, be with us day and night. Let us seek their blessings. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Achan just allowed me 5 minutes. I